Hello and welcome to the video. So on the 12th of January 2022 I posted a video called The Wii U Eshop is Closing 2023. Here we go guys, this is now 1 year on from that video, so I thought, you know what, we're now in 2023 in January. We have now only got around about 2 months left until the Nintendo Wii U Eshop closes for good. You will no longer be able to buy video games off the Nintendo Wii U Eshop. This also goes for the Nintendo 3DS Eshop if you are a Nintendo 3DS user. But for this video, I'm going to be focusing on the Nintendo Wii U Eshop. So 1 year ago, I did actually make a video talking about this topic. It was the very first video on my channel, which was basically about Nintendo Wii U Eshop buying. And yeah, I want to basically remake that video and talk about it again and go through some of the games that are available on Nintendo Wii U Eshop. I think it's detrimental to make sure that we are basically buying these games now because, like I say, in 2 months' time, they will be gone forever. And the funny thing is these games are so cheap on the Nintendo Wii U Eshop. There's so many great classic games from the Virtual Console, even Nintendo Wii U games you can buy on here, and the majority of them are much cheaper than the physical counterparts you can buy for them. So I thought, you know what, let's do it. Let's go through the Wii U Eshop again on this video, and let's check out some of these deals and some of the amazing games available for Virtual Console, which you cannot get on Nintendo Switch if you have Nintendo Switch Online. So yeah, this is going to be one of those videos, and I hope you enjoy it. Like I say, it's been 1 year of this channel talking about the Wii U and the Nintendo and lots of different content based around Nintendo community stuff. So I hope this has kind of been like a culmination of 1 year of work on this YouTube channel coming into one video, which I hope that you guys will enjoy watching. So I do want to thank everyone who has subscribed and been a part of the community. I am over 500 subscribers now for this channel, and I am super ecstatic about that. I never actually thought I would reach more than 100 subscribers within the first year. So thank you everyone. You've managed to basically hit a small part of the dream of mine and build a YouTube community. So 500 subscribers, let's get to 1,000 by the end of next January in 2024. But anyway, in this video, I'm going to talk about the Wii U Eshop stuff. So here we go. So on March 27th, 2023, you will no longer be able to buy Nintendo Wii U Eshop stuff. So this video is basically a guide to show you some of the games that are on the Nintendo Wii U Eshop. So make sure you are picking up these games now. So let's get to the Nintendo Wii U Eshop quick transition. Oh, this feels like deja vu a little bit. This is the Nintendo Wii U Eshop. I'm pretty sure that everyone who's watching this video right now, and the majority of people who have taken an interest in the Wii U Eshop and the 3DS Eshop, know exactly what this is. But basically, this is the Nintendo Wii U Eshop. It's on the Nintendo Wii U, and like I say, this is basically the eShop where you can buy loads of Virtual Console games that you cannot buy on Nintendo Switch, which, to be honest, Nintendo, you should be doing. You should be putting these games on Nintendo Switch. But yeah, so while they are here, before the Nintendo Wii U Eshop closes in 2023 on the 27th of March, make sure you are basically scrolling through all this stuff and looking for the games that you want to buy. Now, I'm not saying you have to buy these games at all. I'm not saying that, you know, it's the end of the world if you don't buy these games. All I'm trying to say is that there are games on here which are valuable games that you can buy legitimate and keep forever, basically. You can get the Nintendo Switch Online service, which does give you access to some of the games on here, especially like Nintendo 64 games and SNES and NES games. However, what I will say is that it's kind of, you have to pay for subscription for those games, whereas with the Nintendo Wii U Eshop, these are all Virtual Console games which you own and have the right to play, download, and basically get to play them. So these, in kind of like in hindsight really, these games are the best games to buy and the best way to buy them. This is the most legitimate way to buy these games without having to download ROMs online and get emulators, which can be illegal. Please be careful if you do that. It is illegal to download ROMs and not pay legitimate prices for them. But here we go, here we are on the Virtual Console, so make sure that you are making the time and use to buy some of these games while you can, because there are some amazing gems on here. Anyway, let's get to it. So first of all, let's go to the Virtual Console games, because they are the most valuable games on here in my opinion. So first of all, I'm going to go to the NES games. I'm going to go through each console one by one, so I'll start with NES and move my way across. So this is the NES games you can get on here, roughly around about £6.29 or £3.49 to pay if you're in the UK. That's very cheap. I'm assuming that Earthbound Beginnings is only £6.29 because it's a bit more of a rare game. Super Mario Bros. 3 obviously on here, The Legend of Zelda, Zelda 2, Adventure of Link, Super Mario Bros., Kirby's Adventure, Duck Hunt, Zoda's Revenge, that's definitely not on Nintendo Switch Online, so you can get that. Adventures of Boyo Billy, Wild Gunman. So there's a lot on here that is not on Nintendo Switch Online. So some of these games are really rare. You should definitely think about considering buying some of these. Some of them actually, I don't know if they've actually added games to Nintendo Switch Online. I don't think they have, but rare games on here. Pac-Land, Flying Dragon, The Secret Scroll. These are not games that you would generally find in like your local pawn shop or CEX if you're in the UK. So these are definitely worth looking into. And like I say, they're only £3.49. Hogan's Alley, Star Tropics, there's so many on here. The Nintendo Entertainment System is a very great console as well. I mean, you've got Lode Runner on here, Scat, Shadow the Ninja, Question Boys, Super Dodgeball. I'm not going to go into them in depth, but you can definitely see the rarity of these games, and for the cheap price that they are definitely worth looking into. Obviously, you want to go for the ones that you're going to enjoy playing. Obviously, you don't want to go for the games and buy them just for the sake of buying them. Obviously, buy games that you know you're going to play, because else it would just be a waste of money, in my opinion. Unless you're going for a full collection, which I don't recommend. You will be wasting a lot of money if you just buy them outright and do a huge collection, because it's a lot of money to spend on the Wii U Eshop. I would recommend just kind of going into this in time, and over time buy more games, and then once the Wii U Eshop is closed, that's when you should potentially just start moving to physical copies again. There's ups and downs to physical copies. Obviously, with digital, you have the game forever, and it's always on that console when you want it, and you can download it as many times as you want. However, with physical copies, physical copies do actually degrade over time. I don't know if people know this, but if you have like a cartridge, like the N64 cartridges, or the SNES cartridges, or NES cartridges, they will degrade over time if you don't keep them stored properly. So that's another thing to think about with physical copies and digital copies. There's pros and cons to both. But anyway, we're going to go to the SNES games now, because the SNES games also are amazing as well. There's loads of great SNES games on here. Super Mario RPG, definitely a rare find that. You will struggle to find that in Europe. Link to the Past is one of the greatest games ever made. Definitely worth picking up. £5.49 as well. You can't complain at £5.49. That's really cheap for a game of this caliber. Super Mario World, £5.49. I think if you was to buy these physical, you'd be paying a lot higher prices than this. Earthbound, again, £6.99. Probably a little bit more expensive because it's a rarer game. It wasn't really released in the UK or in Europe or America when it first came out. It was a very highly exclusive Japanese game that was localized in recent years, so it's probably a little bit more expensive for that reason. But Earthbound, I do recommend picking up and playing. Donkey Kong Country 2, Super Metroid, Donkey Kong Country 1, Kirby's Dream Land 3. There's loads on here, look. Like, there's so much. Breath of Fire, that's rarer. Nobunaga's Ambition, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Harvest Moon. There's so many on here. Just make sure you were getting these games, guys, because £5.49 is so cheap for these games. And like I say over and over again, these physical copies for some of these games are just ridiculously high priced, and they are worth playing. I really do recommend only buying the games that you're going to play though, so please do not go rushing out after you've watched this video and spending hundreds and hundreds of pounds or dollars or whatever it is you have to buy these games, because you will waste money. But if there are games on here that you know you will play and you want to buy, then definitely do consider it, because this is the cheapest option you'll get. So Kirby's Dream Course is something to think about. Pack Attack, Natsumi Championship Wrestling, Mega Man X3, like you got the Mega Man games on here. Super Punch Out, so many games. Final Fight. If I'm looking down, by the way, guys, it's because I'm looking at my gamepad. Street Fighter 2, The World Warrior, Street Fighter 2, The New Challengers, Mario's Super Picross, Yeah, rare games on here, guys, and they are just sitting here. They're just sitting here, and literally, like, they are going to die and be gone forever as soon as March 27th comes around. So, why Nintendo? I would honestly love to see Nintendo put a virtual console onto Nintendo Switch. I know that they are like super into the idea of having a subscription service with Nintendo Switch Online and the expansion pack, but honestly, guys, Nintendo would make dollar if they put virtual console on Switch. There's so many virtual console games that they could put onto Nintendo Switch that would just boost Nintendo eShop sales. Nintendo 64, obviously there's the expansion pack for Nintendo Switch Online, which does get you access to a lot of these games already, but there's a few on here which are not on Nintendo Switch Online. So The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask is my favourite game of all time. Highly recommend it. £8.99, a little bit more expensive, but it's definitely cheaper than buying it physical. Ocarina of Time, one of the greatest games ever made, no doubt about it. Super Mario 64, literally the game that ushered in 3D gaming, in my opinion. Donkey Kong 64 isn't on Nintendo Switch Online yet, so that is really something to think about. Donkey Kong 64 is, I think, is a little bit underrated. Some people hate on this game because of its annoying backtracking you have to do with all the different characters and the banana collecting sections, but I mean, I've played it and it's fine. It's a good game that is definitely one of the weaker rare games that was made, but I mean, it's still worth playing. It's £8.99 on here, which is a lot cheaper than what you'll find at physical. So Mario Kart 64, Paper Mario, Ogre Battle 64, that isn't on Nintendo Switch Online yet. Harvest Moon 64, also another game that isn't on Nintendo Switch Online. F-Zero X is great, it's fun. Mario Party 2, Pokemon Snap. I do have a feeling that some of these games will be coming to Nintendo Switch Online. Obviously, Nintendo are adding to that service. They are trying, I believe they're adding every month new games. There's still GoldenEye yet to come as well, which is happening. Bomberman 64, I had Bomberman Hero as a child, but Bomberman 64 is the more popular game on the Nintendo 64. So if you haven't played this, it's definitely a rare find. Excite Bike, Wave Race 64, Mario Tennis, Kirby 64. I don't know if you've ever seen the physical price for this game, but oh my god, it's definitely not £8.99. Star Fox 64 or Lilac Wars if you're from the UK. 1080 Snowboarding, Mario Golf. So there you go, guys. There's the Nintendo 64 games on here. Wow. Some very interesting games on here, which so far are not on Nintendo Switch Online. I definitely recommend getting Donkey Kong 64. That is the one game I probably would consider picking up on Nintendo 64. Right, so now we're on the TurboGrafx 16 games. I did actually make a video about TurboGrafx 16, so please do check that video out on my channel if you want to know more about these games. I definitely go into these games with a lot more detail, so please do check that video out. I talk about pretty much every single TurboGrafx 16 game available on the Wii U Eshop, so please do watch that video. But these are the games very quickly. So Bomberman 94, Bomberman 93, so they are probably the most biased from the TurboGrafx games. They are probably the most famous games off TurboGrafx 16. Detana Twin B, Bonk 3. Bonk was actually the mascot for TurboGrafx 16, as well as Bonk's Revenge as well. They are pretty much the same franchise. They're kind of like the Mario games of the TurboGrafx 16, even Bonk's Adventure as well. New Island Adventure, Shockman, it's like a Mega Man game kind of. Newtopia, if you're a Legend of Zelda fan, Newtopia is definitely worth picking up, as the game is very much a resemblance of the original Zelda games. Gradius, Necromancer, Lords of Thunder, Bomberman Panic Bomber. Actually, Necromancer, I believe, was a Japanese-only game, I believe. And it's on the Wii U Eshop. So this game is actually ultra rare, if I'm correct. Yeah, it was a Japanese game that never got localized. So that game is actually ultra rare to find. And it's on this Wii U Eshop literally for £5.39. Lords of Thunder is one of the most critically acclaimed games on this console. Digital Champ, kind of like Punch-Out. Chu-Man Fu, Final Soldier, Air Zonk, Blazing Lasers, Battle Load Runners, Salamander, Break-In, Power Golf, Moto Roader, Double Dungeons, kind of like a Dungeons and Dragons style game. China Warrior is kind of like Street Fighter. Soldier Blade, Victory Run, Devil's Crush, Alien Crush, Newtopia 2. So if you're a Zelda fan, maybe consider that one. Superstar Soldier, World Sport Competition, Dungeon Explorer, another Zelda-like game. But yeah, these games, there are a lot of side-scrolling shooting games, like, you know, where you're in kind of like Galaga and Gradius. I know Gradius is actually on the TurboGrafx 16. But yeah, those kinds of games where you're kind of like side-scrolling in a jet plane and you're firing bullets, and it's like bullet hell, and you know what I mean. If you've played the game, you'll know what I mean. Moving on now, we're going to go to Game Boy Advance games. Now, I actually think the Game Boy Advance games here are potentially the most valuable games on this Wii U Eshop, because these games play really well on the Wii U. They actually as well are able to be played on a HD TV, which this is the only way really to do it. So it's worth picking up these games for that reason, because you can play them on a HD TV. Again, some of the games on here are absolute classics as well. Legend of Zelda Minish Cap. I can honestly tell you that is one of the best 2D Zelda games. Metroid Zero Mission, that is a really expensive game as well if you want to buy it physical. Super Mario Advance 4, the Super Mario Bros. 3. Basically, this is the remake of Super Mario Bros. 3 on the SNES, and it was ported to Game Boy Advance and revamped, and they added new content to it through the e-reader device, and you basically could add new levels to the game. But this version here on the Wii U actually comes with all the content, so this is extremely rare to get, and definitely worth getting because of that reason. You get all the content, so definitely pick it up for £6.29 as well. Metroid Fusion, again, another great Metroid game. I find this game to be extremely difficult, but it's Metroid. Most Metroid games are difficult. Metroid Fusion is fun though, I will recommend it. Mario Kart Super Circuit, one of the Mario Kart games that is getting overlooked a lot by a lot of the Nintendo fans, but Mario Kart Super Circuit is worth picking up because it is that game. It's kind of like the black sheep in the Mario Kart series. Wario Land 4, one of the more popular games on the Game Boy Advance. Fire Emblem, if you've never played Fire Emblem, this is a great place to start. Advance Wars, there are Advance Wars remakes supposedly coming out, but I don't know if that's going to happen considering the current situation in the world. But Advance Wars is here if you do want to play Advance Wars. Fire Emblem again, Sacred Stones. Kirby Nightmare and Dreamland, one of the more fun Kirby games. A lot of people consider this to be one of the best Kirby games. Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. A lot of people say this is the best Mario and Luigi game. Golden Sun, The Lost Age, Golden Sun 1, definitely worth getting Golden Sun, one of the best RPGs ever made. F-Zero GP Legends, if you like F-Zero. Pokemon Pinball, Ruby and Sapphire. Unfortunately, Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire and Emerald are not on the Wii U Eshop, and if you do want to find those games, you will have to buy them physically. They are extremely rare and expensive, so please be aware of that. But Pokemon Pinball Ruby and Sapphire is here if you want to play it. It's just a side spin-off game of that series. Klonoa Empire of Dreams. Klonoa is on here. Again, another game that is rare to find and super expensive physical. Drill Dozer. Mario vs. Donkey Kong. WarioWare Inc. Super Mario Advance. Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. Kuru Kuru Kirin. That is also another rare find. If you can find that physical, then you'll be finding it with a very high price. It's very cheap here. Yoshi's Island, Super Mario Advance 3, F-Zero, Maximum Velocity, loads of games here, guys. Lots of Game Boy Advance games which you can play on a HD TV, which makes it ultimately so much more worth it. Super Mario World again, Super Mario Advance 2, I believe that is Super Mario Advance 2. Yep. DK King of Swing, Super Mario Ball, Advance Wars 2, so again the other Advance Wars games on here. Konami Crazy Racers, Mario Golf Advance Tour, Rayman Advance, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. There is the DS version of that game as well, which is the Blue Rescue Team. Game & Watch Gallery Advance, so if you want to play some of the Game & Watch games that used to be a thing when it was back in the day and the Game & Watch was kind of like Nintendo's first handheld console, you can play some of the Game & Watch games here. Pocky and Rocky Rebecca, one of the more rare games, especially in the UK. I don't think we really had this game. Mega Man and Bass, Mario Party Advance. I used to have that game as a kid. It was fun. It wasn't the best Mario Party game ever, but it was still fun for what it was. It was more like a story mode Mario Party. Mario Power Tennis, Mega Man Battle Network. So you got the Battle Network games. I think they're actually most of them on here. Onimusha Tactics, Polarium Advance, Contra Advance, Mega Man Battle Network, yeah, they are here. Medabots. Do you remember Medabots? Does anyone remember Medabots? well, they're here basically if you do. So if you remember Medabots, maybe consider getting these. Final Fight 1, Castlevania Area of Sorrow, definitely worth picking this one up. One of the best games on the Game Boy Advance. Namco Museum, so you got the Namco Museums, Pac-Man Collection. So if you are like wanting to play some classics as well, you can get them on here to play for basically on a HDTV, and yeah, definitely worth picking up. Mr. Driller 2, Rayman 3, Medabots again, more Medabots. Street Fighter 2 Turbo Revival. I feel like they tried to put Street Fighter 2 onto every single console available. More Mega Man Battle Network, so lots of Mega Man. Super Ghouls and Ghosts, another rare find if you can get this. Super Ghouls and Ghosts is popular, but it's also considered to be a very difficult game as well, Super Ghouls and Ghosts. So if you like a challenge, maybe pick that up. Mega Man 0, Mega Man 02, Mega Man Battle Chip, Mega Man Battle Network. So again, so many Game Boy Advance games, guys, that are just worth picking up. Honestly, the Game Boy Advance games, in my opinion, will possibly be the biggest loss once Nintendo Wii U Eshop is closed. So I really do recommend. My only hope for these games, and I will say this, is that we will see Game Boy Advance games come to Nintendo Switch. I'm really hoping for Nintendo to port all of these games onto their Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack service. If they announce Game Boy Advance games this year, I do apologise if you buy these games, because they will be on there. Like I say, these games are super expensive physical, so if you can buy these games for a lot cheaper and get them digitally as well, so they last forever, I do really recommend getting them from here right now. So next up is the Nintendo DS, so let's have a look at Nintendo DS games. So arguably these games are a bit hit and miss, in my opinion, Nintendo DS games, because when you play a Nintendo DS game on Nintendo Wii U, you kind of have to battle between looking at the top screen as well as the Wii U gamepad. There are settings on the Wii U gamepad where you can change the screen so it kind of fits your playability, but I feel like Nintendo didn't really make a good enough kind of like two-screen development for this. Like, some of the games are kind of difficult to play on the Wii U, but that shouldn't stop you from buying them, because there is a lot of games on here that are super awesome to find. Like, again, Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks, Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass. I will just say that the Nintendo Wii U Eshop is Zelda Heaven. It's also Mario Heaven as well. You can basically buy the majority of the games from those series on the Wii U, and also with Mario as well. So it's definitely worth looking into that if you have a Wii U, to get the majority of the Zelda games that are available, as well as most of the Mario games that are available on here as well, because they are awesome. Zelda games I can't recommend enough. I mean, Zelda's my favourite game series of all time. I cannot recommend Zelda games enough to you guys. Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass is on here. Wild World, this was actually my first Animal Crossing game, and I still love it as my favourite. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Explorers of Sky, Mario Kart DS, which actually plays really well on here as well, and Mario Kart DS is probably my favourite Mario Kart game. Super Mario 64 DS, you can get this on the Wii U as well. It plays with the stylus, so it's perfect for the Wii U gamepad. Mario and Luigi Partners in Time, Kirby Mouse Attack, Pokemon Ranger Shadows of Almia, Pokemon Ranger Guardian Signs, Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon, I started playing through that. New Super Mario Bros., which is probably one of the best games on the DS, so if you do have a DS, do recommend playing that. Kirby Power Paintbrush, which is a stylus heavy game. Pokemon Ranger, Metroid Prime Hunters. Everyone forgets that there was a Metroid game on the DS, and it's Metroid Prime Hunters. Yoshi's Island DS, Picross 3D, Kirby Mass Attack, WarioWare Touched, Advance Wars Dual Strike, Dr. Karishima's Brain Training, which actually isn't that hard to find physical, Mario Party DS, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Blue Rescue Team. I did say earlier you can get the Red Rescue Team on the Game Boy Advance, but this is probably the better version of the game. Donkey Kong Jungle Climber, Nintendo Presents Style Boutique, Mario Slam Basketball, Mario vs Donkey Kong 2, March of the Minis, Star Fox Command, Yoshi Touch and Go, Wario Master of Disguise, and Big Brain Academy. Again, the DS, it's just one of those consoles that I think majority of people who watch these videos experienced the Nintendo DS era. The Nintendo DS is probably the best handheld console that Nintendo ever made, in my opinion. There's so many great games on the Nintendo DS. Nintendo 3DS obviously came along and beat the Nintendo DS, but I don't think we would have had Nintendo 3DS being so good if Nintendo DS didn't come before it. It was definitely the console that set up Nintendo 3DS for success. So, and then finally we've got Nintendo Wii. Now this game here, Metroid Prime Trilogy. Out of all the games I would buy on the Nintendo Wii U Eshop, if I could only pick up one, it would be Metroid Prime Trilogy. You get 3 games in one here, and it's only for $17.99. 3 amazing games. 3 Metroid games that are possibly the best 3 in the series, along with Super Metroid, of course. But Metroid Prime Trilogy, oh my god, it's so good. It's the peak, absolute peak of Metroid. And it's only here for $17.99. You do have to play with Wii controls, so if you don't mind playing with Wii remote controls, I really do recommend picking up Metroid Prime Trilogy. It's by far the most valuable game on the Nintendo Wii U Eshop. If you try and find this game physical as well, good luck. It's so rare and so expensive, but it's here for $17.99. Super Mario Galaxy 2, love it, great game. Pikmin 2, this is the Wii version of Pikmin. You've got Pikmin 2, which is Pikmin 2 on the GameCube, but you get to use the Wii controls. It actually makes the game way easier. Pandora's Tower, one of the rarer games on the Wii U Eshop, definitely worth considering. Metroid Other M, Beat the Beat Rhythm Paradise, another kind of forgotten hidden gem. Super Paper Mario, Super Mario Galaxy, one of the greatest Nintendo games ever made. Pokepart Wii, Pikachu's Adventure, Sin and Punishment, Successor of Skies, Punch-Out, Kirby's Adventure Wii, A Shadow's Tale, a rare hidden gem here, guys. Super, super rare. Definitely consider getting that one. Wario Land the Shape Dimension, I've got that physical. New Super Mario Bros. Wii, Kirby's Epic Yarn, Donkey Kong Jungle Beat, WarioWare Smooth Moves. You can also get Pikmin 1, Legend of Zelda Skyward Swords. I wouldn't buy Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword personally off the Wii U Shop. I would just get the HD version if you have Nintendo Switch. It's far better. Resident Evil 4, which is often considered to be the best way to play this game if you have the Wii remote. So Resident Evil 4, definitely consider getting that one. Mario Sports Mix, Donkey Kong Country Returns, Rayman Raving Rabbids, Project Zero 2. Project Zero is an underrated series that a lot of people slept on, but it's definitely worth picking up because I think they're super underrated, the Project Zero games. Mario Strikers Charged, Football, Zack and Wiki, Quest of Barbarossa's Treasure. Wow, this game as well, another rare hidden gem. Nobody remembers Zack and Wiki, but it is here at $17.99. Definitely worth the buy. It's so good. And Xenoblade Chronicles, if you want to get into Xenoblade Chronicles, this is the place to find the original version of the game. So again, guys, on the Wii U, there was just so many Wii games. Remember as well though, guys, that you can actually buy the physical versions of these games and you can play them on the Wii U, as the Wii U is actually a Nintendo Wii as well, as it's capable of playing Wii games. So if you do have physical copies and you can find them, I would recommend buying them if they're cheaper than this. Some of these games are definitely cheaper on physical copies than they are on the digital Wii U eShop. Just make sure you get the rarer ones like the Metroid Prime Trilogy like I did. They're a lot cheaper on the Wii U eShop than buying them physical, but like I say, some of them on here are definitely more expensive than the physical versions, so yeah, consider that. So that is the Virtual Console games on Nintendo Wii U eShop. What I want to look at now is I want to look at some of the more obscure games. So if we go into new releases, there are games here which are extremely new. Let me sort this by later. So these are the latest games on the Wii U eShop. Yes, surprisingly, people do actually still put games on the Wii U. This game here, Shadow Archer Special, so this was actually only put onto the Wii U eShop in August of last year, 2022. So there are games on here which you can still get that are relatively new. Bear in mind these are kind of like small kind of indie games, but they are here, and these are the games that are super important because they are cheap, and also they are the games that are going to disappear forever. So yeah, these are the games that really people should buy, because we want to support the developers who make these games, the smaller developers that didn't really get a place to stand on the Wii U. we want to make sure that they get their pay, basically. We want to make sure that their games are brought and never forgotten, because, you know, they put time and effort into these games. Captain U, a Wii U game. So this game does actually heavily use the Wii U gamepad, I know that. I've been looking through it. And yeah, it's basically designed to be like an old SNES game, but it's sad really to see that these games are basically going to die a death. And they are relatively new. They're not that long been put on. Superfood Frenzy, when was this put on? 2021. So, like I say, if you want to support some smaller indie developers, then maybe consider picking these games up, because they are just going to die, basically. Let's go into the chart. So these are the games that most people are buying. These are the most popular games on the Wii U Eshop. Let's have a look, see what's in the chart. So, off the bat, Minish Cap, Majora's Mask, and Spirit Tracks. 3 Zelda games. I think these are games that are kind of more cult classics than popular. I think that's why most people are buying them, is because I don't know if you've seen the price of these games physical, but like I say, they are expensive. Metroid Zero Mission, Metroid Prime Trilogy, Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass, Super Mario Advance 4, Ocarina of Time, Metroid Fusion. So these are the most popular games on the Wii U Eshop, and there's a reason for that, obviously, because these are the games that are just, they're kind of like the most relevant for the Wii U Eshop and relevant for the Wii U. And for the fact that people can play these games on HD TV and have that ability to do that makes them more valuable. So, Animal Crossing Wild World, Super Mario 64, Wario Land 4. Yeah, these are definitely the games you should pick up. I think this chart here, I think this is definitely the best sellers that definitely express the games you should definitely buy on the Wii U Eshop. Let's have a look at the all best sellers and see if there's any difference. So all best sellers, so there's Wii U games on here as well. So Splatoon, you can get Splatoon 3 on Switch now, which is the far better game, but Splatoon is here if you want to play it. I don't know if I'd pay that price, $34.99. That's a bit overpriced in my opinion. Super Mario World, Minecraft. I don't know, do people play Minecraft on the Wii U now? Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD. Honestly, guys, this game, this is not coming to Switch, in my opinion. So I do recommend getting this while you can. $19.99 is actually way cheaper than the physical price. So definitely consider getting the Wind Waker HD. Super Mario 64, Zelda Link to the Past, Super Mario 3D World. You can get the Super Mario 3D World Deluxe on Switch. Get that version instead. Again, Metroid Prime Trilogy, Super Mario Bros. 3, Earthbound, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Super Mario Galaxy 2, Super Mario Bros. Dr. Kawashima's Brain Training, Super Mario Kart, Trine 2, Art Academy, which was an exclusive for the Wii U, Legend of Zelda Minish Cap, Pokemon Rumble U, NES Remix. Again, a lot of people like these games because there's NES Remix 1 and NES Remix 2, and they are basically like mini games where you get to play the old Nintendo Entertainment System games, but they are remixed. So you have challenges. It's always fun to play this because they are, like I say, challenges of old classic games. Defeat 15 enemies before time runs out, and that is Mario Bros. 1. So there you go. Drop a fruit on top of an enemy, DK Jr. Collect all the coins, Super Mario Bros. 2. So you've got a whole collection of old NES games which you can play with remixed stages. So yeah, I recommend that. And this is again another game, because it's so exclusive, that's going to die. There are other games on here which I want to talk about, and I'm going to go through them now, and that is, there it is, Devil's Third. $24.99 for this game on the Wii U Eshop. Now, it is more impressive to have this game physical, in my opinion, but again, this is one of those games that is a cult game. It's not very popular. This game was never popular when it came out. I think a lot of people actually laughed at this game. It did look kind of terrible. The graphics for it looked like PS2 game. But, you know, this game has become kind of a rarity these days. The release of this game was very lackluster in the United States and is now actually makes it very extremely rare. So I would consider Devil's Third, because it's a game that is definitely overlooked because of how bad it looked when it first got revealed, and you know, it's definitely a game that is rare and expensive to buy physical. But for $24.99, that's a bargain. I did actually find a physical version of this game in the UK for about £34 once, and I do really regret not buying it because the price of this game is just going to skyrocket once the Wii U Eshop is closed. So Devil's Third, highly recommend picking up. Another one to get for the Nintendo Wii U is Dr. Luigi. This is a Wii U exclusive game. It's basically Dr. Mario but with Luigi. There was a time when there was the year of Luigi, I believe it was 2014. But Dr. Luigi is a game that was released on the Wii U Eshop, and it is an exclusive game which is basically Dr. Mario but with Luigi as the main. So if you are into the Dr. Mario games, Dr. Luigi is one to pick up just because it's got Luigi as the main character, and if you like Luigi better than Mario, then there you go. So the next area I'm going to look at is the Nintendo Indies, called Nindies, if you want to say the right terminology. This is a place to buy some Nintendo like indie games, these are the kind of the more like obscure games that they are found on other consoles, so do kind of consider that. But there are some on here that are hidden gems. Of course, you've got Shovel Knight, which is pretty much on every console of this era. Axiom Verge, another one. Guacamelee Super Turbo Championship Edition. SteamWorld Dig and SteamWorld Heist. Severed, Mighty Switch Force. Bit Trip Presents, Little Inferno, Stealth Inc., The Swapper. So there's loads of like indie games on here that were available on the Nintendo Wii U Eshop. The Shantae games, they're very popular actually, the Shantae games. A lot of people like the Shantae games, so if you've never played them, they are on here. DuckTales Remastered. I would, consider looking at some of these. Like I say, I have gone into detail on some of these games in the past on my channel, so please do check out those videos. But they are here if you want to continue buying indie games, if you want to support developers before the Wii U Eshop closes, then they are here as well. And finally, I'm going to look at Nintendo Selects. So Nintendo Selects are the games that Nintendo feel are the most popular and the best games at a lower price. So all these games I believe are $19.99, and these are games that Nintendo have put on here as the most popular games on the Nintendo Wii U. However, some of these have been ported to Nintendo Switch, so please be aware of that if you have a Nintendo Switch. Make sure you get those versions instead. But games on here such as Mario Party 10, Wii Party U, you've got Nintendo Land, that's an exclusive. And yeah, so there's a few there that actually are exclusive to the Wii U, so make sure you get those while that you can. I would look into the prices of these games because the Wii Party U might be cheaper physical, and also Nintendo Land I know for fact is actually cheaper than $19.99 physical if you buy it secondhand. So I would recommend looking into these games a little bit more than buying the ones off here. Like I say, games like Super Mario 3D World, that's definitely on Switch now. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, that's on Switch. New Super Mario Bros. U, that's on Nintendo Switch. Although it does have New Super Luigi U on here, which is exclusive to the Wii U. So that might be something to think about, as this is a double pack. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker on Switch. Pikmin 3, that's also on Switch. So yeah, really do your research into these games before you buy them off the Wii U. And that's that, guys. That is the Wii U Eshop in 2023 in January on the 22nd. That is Nintendo Wii U Eshop, and I've just basically gone through it and told you some of the best finds you can find on there, and some of the most important stuff which is going to disappear. So yeah, that is the video, guys. I do have other videos on my channel which you should check out, because I kind of see my channel has been like a bit of a guide for buying Wii U games. I do actually have a video as well which I made about how to process Nintendo Wii U Eshop cards into the Wii U now, as you cannot do that anymore. Please remember this, guys, you cannot put Wii U Eshop cards onto Nintendo Wii U Eshop anymore. It doesn't work. Nintendo Eshop cards do not work on Nintendo Wii U. You have to process the money a different way, and if you want to find out how to do that, you should check out my other video on the channel, which I will put right here. So please check out that video. It's super important you do this first before you buy any games. And thank you for watching, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe, and check out my channel. I will see you guys around. Bye.